But I think the institutional adoption is happening now.
Bitcoin surging more than 7% on Wednesday, having its best day since March 25th. Cryptocurrency taking off after a cooler than expected CPI report. Right now, Bitcoin, I think, is still above 66. It is. Joining us now, Anthony Scaramucci, Skybridge Capital founder and managing partner. Do you have updates on the institutional adoption of Bitcoin? I've seen some comments just recently. The PayPal guy said everything is eventually going to be on Lightning
Network. We'll talk about Lightning Network if you want, but I think the institutional adoption is happening now. The state of Wisconsin announced we expect other pension funds to announce. And of course, Bitcoin now has the regulatory approval. And I think that was the rate limiting step for a lot of these large scale institutions. And just remember, if you're not long Bitcoin, you're possibly short Bitcoin in the sense that if you believe, and I think BlackRock has more or less said this, that this will be part of a long-term tactical asset allocation strategy for institutional investors, then at some point you've got to get long Bitcoin. Is it 1% of Bitcoin, 1.5% Bitcoin? I don't know. So a lot of smart institutions are saying, let me get long this thing before it becomes part of a total tactical asset allocation index. And I think that's starting to happen now, and that's very good for Bitcoin.
Is it because it's a hedge against 34 trillion in money printing or whatever it is?
Yeah, well,
or is it going to be used to seamlessly transact around the world, or both?
I'm in the digital gold category. Yeah, Michael Saylor. I'll probably call my cell phone after this and say, no, this is in the universal currency category, meaning it'll eventually be the standardized currency for the world over the things like the Lightning Network. But I think what's important for people to do is to do the homework on Bitcoin. Because when you do the homework on Bitcoin, you go towards Bitcoin. I know very few people that have done the homework, several hundred hours of understanding Bitcoin. But I've been in trouble on this. Skybridge announced our Bitcoin position in November of 2020. And a lot of institutions, wirehouses, they didn't like it. They didn't like the position. It's 4 years later. Now these very same wirehouses are adopting the position and are getting long the ETF, or at least allowing their financial advisors to recommend the ETF. And so sometimes when you're early, you get a lot of bumps and scrapes, but I think it pays to be early in Bitcoin, and I think we're still early in Bitcoin.
If there's 21 million and it's going to eventually have some percentage of what the gold market is, why it should be, I mean, Tom Lee says 150 by the end of the year, which I have no idea what to think of 150,000 by the end. But it seems like if that is a given, it should be moving up even more quickly.
But I think Tom Lee's going to be right.